Now, in our digital dive, hundreds of our Sunrisers are sounding off and talking about the Roseville girls soccer team, and it has nothing to do with the game played on the field. On the girls, they're trying to make an impact on social injustices happening in their community. With the guidance of their head coach, the Raiders senior captains, they wrote this statement of unity on social injustice and equality, and they shared it on the team's Twitter page. In the letter, the girls write that they are aware of the social injustices and systemic racism happening in their community, so they will show their support by demonstrating 2 acts of support before every game. The first, they will stand shoulder to shoulder to show support and unity together as one team. The second, they will bow their heads before each match to show support for the Black Lives Matter movement.
I'm still on my pathway of learning and educating myself about the world around me, just like all my teammates are, which is why our statement's super optional. We wanted to open it up to all people on all different levels of learning.
Yeah, the girls say they're aware of the different perspectives and opinions surrounding this issue right now, but they hope it can be a stepping stone to having hard and constructive conversations to promote unity, equity, and change. And of course, like I said, this story had a lot of people reacting online over the weekend, well over 650 comments and counting. And some are saying this move was a political statement, that the school shouldn't be involved with politics like this, while others, a lot of others, thought the girls were doing something that's brave and standing up for something that we all should be fighting for, which is equality.
Yeah, and you heard one of the players there say it's super optional, and these players doing what they feel is right, and sometimes that's exactly what you have to do. Thanks, Alicia. Let's check with Tracy.